It's the first one, it's right there on my list. It's the second one, okay.
Ryan's here too, I saw him in the parking lot.
What's that?
We're streaming live on YouTube. Yeah, I know.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to have an attorney here tonight.
He's on the way.
Yeah, we get, Brian's on his way in.
Brian's, yeah, you can
And,
park.
Brian's on his way in,
And
and so is
then
the
council,
advisor.
council's on his way, so we'll give him a couple minutes.
Yeah, we don't have that many cases, so hopefully.
There's some candy if anyone wants it. Enjoy.
You don't say.
I already found it. This stuff I don't get to eat at home.
Just don't be throwing Skittles at us. Because I can't really see far away, so I'm...
Well, weren't they gonna talk about that at the council meeting last night? Like if they'd give us money to get another one, or?
Yeah, it'll come up at another council meeting.
Okay.
I just let them know yesterday that the contract expired.
It's over, yeah. Okay, cool.
Earlier today, we spoke to him. He knows that we want him here, but I don't know, traffic could be bad, so.
And we're set.
But, you know, you don't need extra start.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented tonight. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rule of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chairman and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by the staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'd like to ask that all persons who expect to give testimony tonight, please stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
Please raise your right hand if you plan to speak. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony or evidence you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Because we do have folks here tonight, we're going to be taking cases slightly out of order. We will be taking the first case 19-5763, City versus Tampa Acquisitions, and then we're going to move to the lien reduction, and then back to case 19-5811. Before we begin, I'd like each board member to announce whether or not they've had any ex parte communications for any of the cases presented to us tonight. If so, please announce whether it was oral or written, and with whom and how it was communicated. Thank you.
I have not.
I have not.
I've not.
I've had none.
I have none.
I've had none.
Thank you. Okay, let's begin. Case number 19-5763, City versus Tampa Acquisitions, Inc.
Case number 195763, City versus Tampa Acquisitions, Inc. for the property.
Hang on.
Minutes.
Sorry, forgot the approval of the minutes.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. My apologies. Before we begin the case, we have to approve the minutes. Have all the board members received the minutes of December 11, 2019?
Yes.
Yes.
Does anybody have any corrections or additions to the minutes?
I do not.
Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. A call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion carries. Okay, on to case number 19-5763.
Case number 195763, City versus Tampa Acquisitions, Inc. for the property located at 7202 East Fowler Avenue. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12861E6 fences appearance. The case this evening will be prosecuted by Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated as a citizen complaint on October the 14th, 2019. My inspection revealed the rear masonry concrete fence wall in disrepair. At that time, I left a door hanger with the compliance date of the 18th of November, 2019. My inspection on November the 18th, 2019 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of the 2nd of December of 2019. Affidavit of service was delivered to the store clerk, Donia Aberdue, and I requested copies be mailed certified in first class, and also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on December the 27th, 2019 revealed no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on November the 18th, 2019. Exhibit number 1 shows the rear masonry concrete wall in disrepair.
Okay, we'll accept. Just for the record, just the one photograph?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I also had a little bit of dialogue with the manager of the store on the 27th when I delivered the notice of hearing. The manager of the store, Mr. Razkala, contacted me. I also spoke with him again on December the 3rd regarding the proceedings of tonight's meeting. My inspection today revealed there has been no change. Therefore, the property remains out of compliance, and I am seeking a ruling. Respondent is here in the courtroom this evening and would like to address the board.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, if the respondent would like to present. Before you begin, state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Bolo Riscalo, 17227 Poppy Fields Lane, Land O'Lakes, Florida.
I don't know if they got that.
Sorry.
Try again.
Bolo Riscalo, 17227 Poppy Fields Lane, Land
you.
O'Lakes, Florida.
Thank you.
Good evening, board and chairman. I'm here to let you guys know that I have been in direct communication with Ms. Lori Smith and also Mr. Vinny. I'm not exactly sure, the engineer for City of Temple Terrace, alongside with our neighbor. His name is Mr. J.J. Jenkins, and we are in constant work to try to come to a resolution. We actually received an email today from Mr. Vinny, the engineer, finding a solution that we would be able to remove the facial wall, put a curb with some reflective light reflectors on it to prevent anybody from rolling over, and we would just like some time to correct the violation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How long do you think it'll take you to get it done?
I'm kind of at the mercy of my neighbor because they just built the property, and then while they were building the property, they broke the wall. But we've been on, and we've kind of been working on it, and we actually received a letter today from the engineer stating how we can resolve the matter quickly. So maybe 45 days if we may.
Okay, and
complete
then
it.
your neighbor seems pretty easy to work with and up to get everything done?
Yes, sir. We've been in direct communication. I have it in writing that he's willing to take on all responsibility and is working effortlessly to resolve the matter.
Okay, awesome.
Any other questions for the respondent? Thank you.
He said he's willing to take responsibility. Is he the one going to be contracting the work, or are you going to be contracting the work?
He is going to be, sir.
He's going to be contracting.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion.
Can we motion to table this, and seeing as that he needs up to 45 days, I think he said? Is that an acceptable motion?
We have a couple options. You can make a motion now, and he'll have 30 days to come into compliance anyway till our next meeting. If he's not in compliance at that next meeting, he's welcome to come back and ask for an extension. You can, at this time, if you so desire, if the board desires, you can make a motion to give him 2 months or 3 months, whatever you want to do. I don't recommend that, but that is an option. Normally what we do, and we try to remain consistent in our code findings, is that we will find him in violation. He'll have 30 days to comply. If he needs more than 30 days, he can come back next month and ask for an extension. And we typically do give the extension if there's enough reason. Yes, sir.
Can we ask the city what a reasonable amount of time would be to, is there an architectural design approval required, and what things have to happen, and is 30 days a reasonable amount of time?
Lori?
Mr. Snelling, what needs to happen from the city engineer, Vinny, is that a curb needs to be put up where that wall had got all broken down. That needs to come down. There would need to be a curb put back there behind that so cars don't come off, as well as they would need to do a grading, a 4-1 grade at the rear of that location, put curbs, and then also reflective light, something in the evening time where cars will be aware that that curb line is back there.
Any rough estimate on how long that type of work might take? I mean, I don't know how long it takes to assume there's architectural, some of these things require architectural approval, design, so forth.
Right. I don't believe that this requires any architectural engineer or anything like that. But, I would definitely think that, give them 30 days, and hopefully they can bring the property into compliance, sir. If not, the gentleman can come back and, based on, what they've been able to get done in 30 days, then with the board's approval, if need be, maybe some more time, depending on where they're at.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Lori, one more.
Quick. Have you had any dialogue with the other owner of the property?
No, sir, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't been contacted by the owner. Like I said, the only person that I've talked to is Mr. Rescala here. I talked to him the day that I delivered the notice of hearing. Prior to that, haven't heard from anybody, sir. There was never any communication until the 27th when I delivered the notice of hearing.
Okay. And any dialogue with Vinnie?
Yes, sir, I have had a little dialogue with Vinnie. Actually, last week, I reached out to Vinnie concerning the property, let him know I had a case. It was going to the code board. As Mr. Regala had said that Vinnie was waiting on a structural engineer. That was what the holdoff was. In speaking to Vinnie, the structural engineer was only required for what was underneath the ground. That's the reason why Vinnie was calling for a structural engineer. What was cosmetic on top as far as the wall goes, he wasn't saying that a structural engineer was needed for that. And I think that there was some lack of communication, maybe, sir. That's what happened. But like I said, with grading it down, some curb stops, some lighting, some lights, they would be able to bring the property into compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll do one.
Thank you.
In case number 19-5763, City of Rich Tampa Acquisitions, Inc., I move that the city is proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code existed at the property located at 7202 East Fowler Avenue. Violations are 12-861, subsection E, subsection 6, fences and appearance. This motion is based on the sworn testimony of this board and this board has received from the code enforcement officer and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of the hearing. I further move that the said violations be corrected on or before February 12th, 2020. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that date, they are ordered to pay a fine for each day. Each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $50 per day.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next case will be the lien reduction.
You want to just explain to them?
That's her job. Thank you for,
Hello, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
and my apologies for the tardiness.
That's
I
okay.
Stuck in traffic, and
yeah.
I'm here now, but
Yeah.
I trust that you did the ex parte
Yeah, we did.
conversation.
Not nearly as well you would have, but we did it.
Okay. Excellent. Thank
Thanks for joining us, and we've all been where you've been, so fear not. Okay, next case is case number 0557 and 12-0694, City versus Jeffrey L. Rhodes and Vernica L. Rhodes.
And we have this lien reduction, case number 05557 and 120694, City versus Jeffrey L. Rhodes, Vernica L. Rhodes for 708 Grand Circle. The lien amount is $414,500, and Director Brony will present.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Code Board members. Tom Baroni, Code Compliance Director. At this time, I would like to introduce this lien reduction petition request in case number 050557 A and B and 12-0694. City versus Vernica L. Rhodes, property located at 708 Grand Circle with a lien amount of $414,500. In the first case, 050557A, originated by code staff in April of 2005 for a wood fence that was in disrepair, and then came into compliance on August 12, 2005. That violation accrued a lien amount of $1,550. In case number 050557B, originated also by code staff in April of 2005 for an unclean swimming pool, unsanitary pool contents, which came into compliance on December 12, 2019, which accrued a lien amount of $388,200. In the third case, 12-0694, this case originated by the citizen complaint on March 14, 2012, for a wood fence in disrepair. This violation came into compliance on October 22nd, 2013, and accrued a lien amount of $24,750. With 111 inspections in the first two cases by code staff, the cost of that was $3,700. And the city clerk's cost of $300, totaling $4,000. In the third case, with 19 inspections by code staff, that accumulated up to amount of $633, and the clerk's cost is $130, totaling $763. Based on the swimming pool, which did have a screen enclosure, and the Rhodes family dealing with a financial hardship, and the sale of the home is pending the outcome of this lien reduction, my recommendation to the board tonight is to lower the lien amount from $414,500 to $19,750. How did I come up with this calculation? Mrs. Rhodes is offering the city $15,000 for the lien reduction. That's the amount that she put on the application. And I'm adding the city cost of $4,750, totaling $19,750. Standing by for any questions.
Any questions for Code Officer Browning? Don't appear to be any questions, sir. Thank you.
I just also like to add, I
Question.
know that normally we do the 10%, but due to the financial hardship here, there's been a Liz pendants filed in 2006, 2018, and also there's a sale of the property pending. I would not like to hold back the sale of this property due to $40,000, let's say $20,000 difference, because normally, like I said, we usually do the 10%.
Right.
Which would come out to $41,000. That is a lot of money for a lien. Yes, it's been 14 years, which is true, but the pool itself was screened in, so I don't think there was really a hazard to the neighbors, but maybe as far as looking at the pool itself would probably be like annoyance or inconvenience to the neighbors. But other than that, that's how I came up to that conclusion of that total.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You see, you do have a question? Okay, go ahead.
So were there a lot of complaints from the neighbors, or this was?
No,
it
these-
sounded like this was
these-
proactively done when you guys,
Right,
the first
the-
violation, you noticed the pool or
In
something?
'05, it was presented by Joe Gross, the director. In his testimony, he initiated the case. So there wasn't that many complaints from the neighbors, what I read in the case history. So, but that's it.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Yeah. Was there any, let's push, thank you. Was there any health problems such as being a mosquito hatchery, or, did it create a problem other than just being unsightly?
Not that I'm aware of, and I'm only going by the case history. There's a lot of verbiage put into the case, but I didn't see anything about breeding of mosquitoes. And usually, if there's a pool cage, you don't usually have that type of problem with mosquitoes.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I notice the respondent is here. If the respondent would like to make a comment, she's welcome to come up. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Vernica Rhodes.
Get the mic down a little bit closer to you. There you go.
My name is Vernica Rhodes, and I'm currently residing at 708 Grand Circle. And I appreciate the support of the director. And yes, it was a screened-in area. There are no small children that live anywhere on our circle, so there were no hazardous problems, no mosquitoes. It also had a fence, so it was safe. The hardship occurred due to divorce, and when my husband left out, I was physically unable and financially unable to maintain the property. So I am seeking the mercy of the board for some relief so that I don't lose everything to foreclosure. And my house is currently in contract with company here that was gracious enough to pay for the upkeep, and they will be purchasing the property. They paid for the pool to be brought up to the 35-day clearance so that I could bring it here to present to you all for the lien reduction.
Thank you. Anything else?
On my request, I requested that the fine be $1,000 a year for $15,000, but I am gracious to the amount that he recommended because I had not calculated in the many inspections that they did, and I know that has to be covered. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Any questions for the respondent? Seeing none, you can sit down, thank you. I'm looking for a motion. Okay, Mr. Snelling?
All right, let me see if I can read this correctly. All right, in cases number 05-0557 and 12-0694 for the property located at 706 Grand Circle, upon hearing the facts and an argument from the city and the property owner, I hereby move that the board recommend to the city council that the lien be reduced from $414,500 to the city recommended $19,750, contingent upon the lien being paid within 30 days of the council's decision, or it would revert to the original amount of $414,500, and the city is authorized to enforce the fine in accordance with the law.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion passes. So it's not a done deal. This recommendation will go to city council at their next city council meeting, and they will make the final decision.
And that's January 21st?
Good question.
That is the next
That's-
council meeting.
Okay, January 21st?
It's not on that agenda.
So it'll be in February?
Mr. King from 113th is on that agenda.
Okay, so it'll be the first meeting in February, which I don't know when that is.
I guess the question is to ask them, when is their closing?
Yeah.
We'd like to facilitate the sale, so we may need to accommodate this
Yeah,
lien reduction.
when-
When is the closing?
Name and address for the record, please.
David Fabian, 7109 South Wall Street. The closing doesn't have a definite date at this time because we were waiting, the whole closing was contingent upon this reduction.
Okay.
So, in the essence of time, we have gotten the foreclosure stopped once. Getting it stopped a second time is a little more difficult, but we can try to get it done. We expect the attorneys for the bank to reset the sale to be within the next 30 days.
Wow. Is there a way to get this on the next agenda?
I think that, well, the city manager sets the agenda, but we are going to ask him if he'll, even though we have one already set, if we can get this one set for the next meeting as well.
Okay,
So-
that'd be great. Okay, so,
We'll do our best.
okay, so you know, all things being equal, it'll be the next city council meeting, which is the 21st. If something changes, somebody will be in contact with you.
Thank you very much.
And one other item, just for the record, I think that when the motion was made and the property address was read, it was read as 706, and in reality, it's 708 Grand
okay.
Circle. So if we can
Yeah, we need to
just
make that-
amend that.
Would you please amend your motion?
Sure, yeah, I meant to say 708. If I said 706, I
we have it.
apologize.
And if we can just have a vote.
Yes, we have a
to
motion,
amend
amended
that.
motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, amended motion passes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if you could just remind them that they have to pay that 30 days after the council meeting?
Yes, that's where I was going with,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, thank
So,
you, sir.
so the way this works is, we make a recommendation to city council. City council will either accept the recommendation or not accept the recommendation. Assuming they accept the recommendation, you have 30 days from that meeting, the January 21st meeting, to pay the fine in full. If that fine is the revised amount, the 19,750. That has to be paid in full within 30 days. If that fine is not paid in full within 30 days, it reverts back to the original amount of 414,500.
Understood. And
Okay.
It'll be handled at the closing.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, back to the beginning of our agenda.
Case number 195811, City versus Salma Properties LLC for the property located at 8519 Wakula Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12921, parking residential property. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, board members. Jose Silva, Co-Compliance. This case originated from an anonymous complaint on October 6, 2019. Upon inspection, I noted vehicles parked on the yard grass and a refrigerator by the front door. This time I completed a notice of violation with the compliance date of October 18, 2019. No one was home, so I posted the notice at the home as well as City Hall, also mailed copies, both certified and regular mail to the registered address of the owner. During my inspection on October 28th, there were no vehicles parked on the yard grass, so I closed the case, placing the property into compliance. On December 4th, 2019, I discovered a vehicle parked on the yard grass again. Since the violation occurred within 45 days, I set it for the hearing tonight. This time I have 3 photographs to submit. The notice posted at the front door, vehicle parked on the yard grass on December 4th, 2019, and a vehicle parked on the yard grass again on December 18th, 2019.
Will accept, thank you.
As of today's date, the property has come into compliance. I would like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm asking for a ruling.
Will accept, thank you. Any questions for Code Officer Silva? Seeing none, there's no petitioners not here. I'm look for a motion.
Let me try this.
Thank you.
All right. So in case number 195763, I move the city has proven.
Wrong case.
Oh,
58
thank you.
5811.
Thank you. My apologies. In case number 195811, I move the city has proven by the greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on property located at 8519 Wakula Drive. The applicable code is 12921, parking residential property. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered into part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there is no fine imposed, that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case.
Case number 196072, High Point Trust Service LLC for the property located at 502 Coach Lane. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12860 inoperative vehicles, outdoor storage equipment, Section 8102 13B exterior walls maintained in good repair, Section 12861E6 fences appearance, and Section 1035 sanitation abutting property. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Director Tom Baroni. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. This case this evening originated proactively and also by a neighbor's complaint on October 30th, 2019. My inspection on the 31st of October noted debris in the side yard, peeling paint on the exterior walls, inoperative vehicle in the driveway, the buffer wall stained, and the sidewalk surface had mildew. At that time, I left 4 door hangers with a reinspection date of November 20th, 2019. My inspection on the 22nd of November noted no change, therefore a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of December 20th, 2019. I posted the notice letter at the front door and I requested copies to be sent out certified in first-class mail. I also requested a copy to be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on the 26th of December 2019 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of hearing was prepared. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on December 26, 2019. Exhibit number 1 shows that the notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 noted that the vehicle tag has an expired registration. Exhibit number 3 shows the exterior walls with peeling paint. Exhibit number 4, sidewalk has mildew. And exhibit number 5 shows the rear buffer wall lacks a clean appearance. I'd also like to amend the ownership of this property and add it's 502 Coach Lane Trust. On the property appraiser from the Hillsborough County Property Appraiser, it shows High Point Trust Service trustee. The trustee is actually 502 Coach Lane Trust. Okay,
Thank you.
I'd like to submit.
Sure, we'll accept, thank you. Any questions for Officer Baroni?
Just to let you know, as of today's inspection, there has been no change. The property's out of compliance. We did receive 2 green cards from the certified letters from the registered agent.
Okay.
So they were signed and returned to the city.
Okay,
But no communication between her or I or anybody at the property.
very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no questions and no petitioners, I'll seek a motion.
You want these guys to look at all
If you ever get done.
wait on Brian.
I got a question, Tom.
You have a go ahead.
Anybody, have you had any contact with anybody residing at the house?
No, no.
Okay.
It's a rental property and, no.
Okay.
No.
You can look at the pictures during the discussion period.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Point of clarity, the fine amount would be multiplied by the number of violations, right?
Not necessarily, you can have a single fine amount to cover all violations.
Right.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, in case number 19-6072, I move the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code exist on the property located at 502 Coach Lane. Do I need to add the trust in there, or that's because it's the address?
You can, it's up to you, I don't think you necessarily need to have the
okay.
trust.
Perfect. The applicable codes and code sections are section 12-860, 8-102, subsection 13, subsection B, 12-861, subsection E, subsection 6, and 10-35. The motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violations be corrected on or before February 12th, 2020. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that date, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $150 per day.
That's your motion?
That's it.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have any discussion?
Yeah.
Go
We
ahead.
both. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Just $150 seems relatively high to me. because the violations are, for lack of a better word, cosmetic in my mind. I mean, I just don't feel comfortable with that
Sure.
amount for.
The reason that, because they are such small violations that are easily fixable, and there's multiple ones in this location, is to motivate the person to get it done, especially, since we do have a green card, somebody has received it and is in communication with the city, so it's not like it's an absentee owner. I mean, they received the notification, so that's why I put it up there. If I was the person living next door to that property, I'd be pretty upset.
Okay.
For the simple fine. simple
Mr.
things.
Alderman?
Yes, I'm of the same mind you are, that 150 seems a little excessive to me. And I almost look at the violations in one sense. They're three separate violations, they're three separate codes, but they're one. The entire property is in disrepair, so it needs exterior paint, the wall needs painting, and it needs cleaned up, and it has a car violation. So I agree, I'm not comfortable with the $150 per day.
The other component is that Officer Barone testified that there is somebody residing in the house, possibly a rental. So they're collecting rent, possibly for this property. And if I was the tenant, I'd be coming out and seeing why the code enforcement board's there. So again, based off of that was another reason why the fine was the fine amount.
That's why I agreed with it, because we've, like you said, the green cards came back. We know that they got it. We know that they've seen everything, and they still haven't contacted us. So,
I just feel like sometimes we reserve the higher amounts for maybe safety issues, safety concerns. That's how I envision our
That's why,
decisions.
that's why the $250 per day, I didn't go that high.
I mean, you can make another motion, though. I mean,
Well,
if you-
Well, we have to vote on this one first. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey.
Nay.
Okay, motion fails.
Another motion.
Another motion.
So I agree in principle with you too. I also see your point that there's 4 violations. So the average, we usually go 50 per violation, and this is actually less than that. But I do think overall that it would, the reason I'm against it is because I think 150 snowballs really quickly, and we're always about getting people back up in compliance.
Seeking a second motion, with
Yeah.
discussion will come afterwards.
Oh, I apologize. I would motion. I would motion for. I'll make a motion. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll shut up and make a motion. In case number 19-6072, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code existed on the property located at 502 Coach Lane. The violations are Section 12-860, 102, subsection 13, Section 8, 102, subsection 13, subsection B, Section 12, 861, subsection E, subsection 6, and Section 10-35. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidences, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before February 12th. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay the fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $75 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second, any further discussion?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think it's low. We've got a sidewalk that's moldy. You talk about a health hazard, a slip and fall right there. So, again, that's not even $25 per violation.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
One nay, motion carries. Next
Two
case.
nays.
2 nays, sorry, motion still carries. Next case.
Next case, case number 196149, City versus Alma Aponte for the property located at 101 Deer Park Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 10-4, subsection B, subsection 3, nuisance, any condition or use. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Can I ask something before we start?
No?
No? It has about possible conflicts.
Okay, go ahead.
I live close to these, I don't know these people, but I drive by every day. So I'm a neighbor, but I'm not a neighbor that knows them. And I just want to make that clear. Is that a conflict?
It's not a direct conflict, but can you state for the record that you'll limit your consideration of the case to what's presented tonight?
Yes.
And I don't think it's a direct conflict, and as long as you can limit to what's presented tonight, then there shouldn't be any issue.
All right.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated by City Arborist Joe Ferris as a hazard tree on October 18th, 2019. My inspection on November 4th revealed no change, so a notice of violation was prepared on that date with a compliance date of November 26, 2019. I posted the notice on the site, and a notice was also posted at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on November 27th revealed that part of the tree had been removed, so I granted an extension to remove the balance of the tree. On December 26th, my inspection showed no further progress had been made to remove the tree, so a notice of hearing was prepared on December 26th, and the case was scheduled for the January Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by me on November 4th, 2019.
We'll accept, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation, and exhibit number 2 shows the hazardous tree.
Any questions for the code officer? Go ahead.
I don't want to hold up that.
Okay, take your time.
So it looks like that property borders on 56th Street.
Yes, sir, it does.
And as far as the condition of the tree, is it close to falling? Is it rotten? Is it any danger of falling towards the street? or-
Well, that was why it was considered a hazardous tree by the city arborist, and that's why it was requested to be removed. At this point, the site is in compliance. They've removed the
Oh.
tree down another 15 or 16 feet, so and the
Oh, okay.
homeowner said he's gonna take it down to the height of the wall, so that it should no longer be considered a hazardous tree, and I'd submit an affidavit, would like to
Okay.
submit an affidavit of compliance. and seek
Never
your finding.
mind.
There you go. Very good. We'll accept that. Thank you. Any other questions for the code officer? Is there anyone here wishing to speak? No, it doesn't appear to be. I'll seek a motion. Anyone?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 19-6701, City versus
No, wrong
Fidencio
case,
Suarez.
wrong case.
Nope, sorry. In case number 19-6149, City versus Alma Aponte. I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 101 Deer Park Avenue. Violation is Section 10-4, subsection B, subsection 3. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and a notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. We further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next case.
Case number 196701, City versus Fidencio Suarez for the property located at 706 East River Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12922A, parking commercial vehicle in residential district. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance. This case originated on December 6, 2019. My inspection at the time noted a commercial truck and trailer parked on the street in front of the residence. At this time, I met with a resident at the location and learned that the vehicle will be moved to a storage area by that afternoon. On December 9th, 2019, I re-inspected the property and found the commercial truck and trailer parked in the driveway of the residence. This time, I completed notice of violation with a compliance date of December 11th, 2019. I conducted service at the resident on an Israel Garcia that was living there. An inspection on December 11, 2019, found the vehicle to have been moved from the location. An inspection on December 14, 2019, by Director Baroni saw the vehicle at the residence parked on the street and photographed the vehicle at that time. This time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the vehicle parked on the street taken by Director Baroni on December 14, 2019.
Thank you. We'll accept. Any questions for the code officer?
I do have one.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, is it that they're storing it there, or are they, I mean, you know, I used to work, do construction. Are they storing it, you know, I would guess the question, are they storing it there, or is it there where the person's there?
It's there when the person is there. So
Okay.
they're parking it at the residence in the neighborhood, and it's not allowed to be there.
Okay, so even if they're just stopping by to have lunch, that's not allowed?
They're allowed if they're to stop and have lunch, but as you notice that picture, that's an overnight picture, early morning, so it was there.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? See none?
As of this time, the property has come into compliance. I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance. I'm asking for a finding.
Thank you. Perfect. Sometimes. Perfect. This time, I'll be looking for a motion.
I'll make it.
Thank you.
In case number 19-6701, I move the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 706 East River Drive for Code Section 12-922 subsection A of the City Code. The motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that no fine be imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to unfinished business.
Case number 194612, City versus Sway, 2014-1 Barber LLC for the property located at 207 Woodbine Avenue. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Director Brony for Section 633, subsection A, dated December 12th, 2019. Case number 194898, City versus Salma Properties LLC for the property located at 10043 North 52nd Street. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Doug Allen for Section 12860 dated December 12th, 2019. Case number 194617, City versus Ayman B. and Fatima A. Syed for the property located at 9424 Bellhaven Street. Deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 196326, City versus 5400 Bush Boulevard LLC for the property located at 5400 East Bush Boulevard. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. And then we have liens list review when we're ready.
I think we're ready.
Okay. Cases in compliance. We have a partial compliance for case number 172613, City versus Dudley A. Black, 9408 Hidden Ridge Place for Section 103B. Case number 194518, City versus Genus Miller, 3rd LLC, 12702 North 53rd Street. That property is now in compliance.
Okay.
And then the rest are cases not in compliance. Case number 080292, City versus Christopher B. York, 7604 Leon Avenue. Case number 152510, City versus Coyley Berry Jr., 10014 North 52nd Street. Case number 160491, City versus Richard D. Warren and Deborah L. Warren, 108 Mission Hills Avenue. Case number 162397, City versus Dudley A. Black, 9408 Hidden Ridge Place. Case
Just-
number,
Just hang on before we go on.
yes,
Maybe I heard you wrong, but did you say 16-2397?
yes.
Okay, I must have heard you wrong. Thank you.
Okay, 162397.
Okay.
Case number 172613, City versus Dudley A. Black, 9408 Hidden Ridge Place, and that's continuing noncompliance for Section 1035. Case number 172746, City versus James Stevens Johnson and Glenda Johnson for 104 Holland Avenue. Case number 172786, City versus Anthony D. and Marcina L. Bobo for 7501 Okeechobee Court. Case number 183885, City versus Diplomat Property Manager LLC for 107 South Greenfield Avenue. Case number 194186, City versus Judith Valdez Cugat for 6109 Oak Fern Court. Case number 194940, City versus Robert and Lisa M. McNeil for 9406 Hidden Ridge Place.
Very good, thank you. Council members have any other new business? I've got a couple things that I'd like to discuss with the board since we have some new players and I'm a new chairman and I wanted to do this last night, but for those of you there, you saw how we just kind of ran out of time. First, I want to thank you all. Volunteerism in our city is one of the many things that makes our city a wonderful place to live. The other thing is I wanted to remind everybody that we are a quasi-judicial board. We are once a month the face of the city. Even though it's a volunteer board, you are kind of held to a higher standard because we are a quasi-judicial board. There's three things that I wanted to discuss with you tonight. The first is consistency. We had a little bit of discussion of that tonight. We ought to and should and have been, when people are in violation, be consistent in the finding and that we have for those particular violations. In other words, we should not be charging a parking violation $200 for one case and $25 for another case. We should be consistent in what we do in our findings. The other is, and please understand, I'm not suggesting anybody's doing this. It's just a reminder. Although you are on the code board, that doesn't mean you go driving around looking for code violations, okay? That's their job, not ours, okay? Nor does it mean that you should expect any special privileges when you go out to eat or out to drink or get gas or anything else, okay? It's
Just the opposite.
just the opposite, yeah. So there's no entitlement that goes along with being a code member. The other is professionalism. Like I said, we are the face of the city once a month. We should act and dress like it. So, please wait to be recognized by the chair so that we're not talking over each other and that we present a professional view to the public that comes before us. And dress like a professional, dress like you're representing the city. Jacket and tie would be acceptable, collared dress shirt. If you would mind rolling down your sleeves when you come in here, that would be wonderful as well. And just be professional is all we ask, because you are the face of the city and should have some respect for your position and the people that come before us. Any questions?
Yeah, I have just in regard to that first bullet point, as far as consistency is concerned, is there any way that we could meet as a group and openly discuss? Because I have the same problems that, the discussion that Sean and I had about a high fine to force compliance or to encourage compliance versus a high fine that accumulates a large lien over time. So for us to be on the same page.
Yeah, sure. We can put together a code enforcement workshop. I think, there were some open issues after last night anyway, right?
Right.
So.
If you want to discuss things as a group, and I'm sure your counsel would say the same thing I'm saying, but it could be before the regular meeting starts, or it could be as you're doing now after the meeting. but it's going to have to be out in the open.
Yes, of
like
course,
this.
of course. Maybe the thing to do is, there were some open agenda items after last night that, once you decide what we're gonna do with his position, and once some of the other questions get answered, maybe we can put together a little workshop, and we'll schedule something either before or after. I know it's tough for a lot of people to get here any earlier, so maybe we'll have kind of coordinate it with a short agenda and do it after the regular meeting. Because I know it's tough for you guys to get here a little bit any earlier than what you're getting here, so. Okay? That work? Sean?
Yeah, I would just encourage the board members to even look at the unfinished business that we had here with some of the fines, So again, I think that is something that we strive to do. And just in those there, the consistency, if we want that, we need to really work hard at it.
Absolutely. And just like we had tonight, with the opportunity to discuss your concerns are always there after the second of any motion, so.
As you stated, I'm sure you're aware of the, what you said about my position, and I'm sure you're aware about the agreement between the city and that was terminated. But I would still chime in some thoughts on the discussion about the fine. The fine, there's nothing in the law that says that you couldn't cap the fine amount at a sum certain, if the concern is that it would run to an amount that's really unreasonable for what the fine is. So just offering that is something for the board to consider. And then as far as the consistency in the application, obviously that's a good thing that the board should strive for, but the board isn't necessarily bound by previous determinations of fine amounts, and every case presents itself with a unique set of facts, and the only obligation that the board has with regard to setting the fine amounts are the three factors that you should all know, because you repeated in your motion consistently about the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations. As long as those three considerations are the heart of what is determining the fine amount, then the fine amount is going to be legal, and the courts defer heavily to the boards. There's been quite a bit of litigation on fine amounts and whether or not they're unreasonable or unfair or unconstitutional under the excessive fines clause, and the courts are going to consistently defer to the decision of the board in that fine amount, as long as it's within the statutory limits, which is not a problem for this board. You're always going to be within the statutory limit.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to share
Sure.
that.
You referenced the 3 points that we recite when we make our motions. I'll try to make this a yes or no question. So I don't see other properties that have same violations in those 3 categories. So would it be safe to say that we don't have to take that into consideration?
If I understand your question correctly, you're saying that if another property with the same violation was previously fined a certain amount, that you would have to take that into consideration. It's not one of the, you're correct, that it's not one of the express factors, but I think that the board could consider that as part of determining what the gravity of the violation is. So if in the past, the board has determined that the gravity of the violation warranted a certain amount that was appropriate, it would be an appropriate reference point.
I just wanted to get a little bit out of you before we lose you.
Thank you. We'll still have representation. It won't be every meeting, but we'll still have representation. And if anybody here on the board believes that that representation needs to be here for a particular issue, we can certainly make a motion to table the issue to the next meeting, then they'll have counsel here for us, so.
I mean, I was one of the vocal people about the whole process.
I know.
And so, I admit that, I think it's paid dividends. But I also was here when we didn't have it, so I understand there's a process for it. But I just wanted to recognize that I was one of the vocal ones about the whole process, and I think it has paid great dividends.
Very good. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question about I was wondering if any of these could be shortened. I'm sure everybody's thought that at one point in time.
motions?
Yeah, I'm sure that question's come
Well,
up. It's
we've,
just-
we've,
it's a
we've
mouthful.
had multiple iterations of the motions. The last one was drafted by his predecessor.
Mhm.
You know, they're there for, the words are there for a reason.
The reason is simply to create a record.
Right.
So that if perhaps somebody appealed your decision, you've put all the proper language into the record, and it will make it much easier for us to defend your decision, if the language is there. So, sorry.
No, I mean, it's just a mouthful, but I'm sure everything in here is, like you said, needed. I don't know what I would cut if I could, but
Yeah.
all of it maybe.
Learn how to talk
It's like too
faster.
many- It's like an Amadeus, too many notes, you
Yeah.
know, which way
Yeah.
to have us cut out. So,
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
I just comment on that. Our motions in Tampa for our magistrates they track almost identically to these motions, and
Yeah.
we vetted them through multiple attorneys. We tried to make them as condensed as possible, but after multiple attorneys looking at it, we just determined that was pretty much the essentials.
Okay, appreciate it, thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, we are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.
I didn't drive to CBS looking for a violation.
What's that?
I didn't drive to CBS.
No, I know you didn't, I know you didn't. It's hard not to see some things sometimes, though.